Welcome back to Pole Barn Garage, where today we're going to be working on the 21,000 original mile LTD again. It needs some maintenance, but also I don't know if I have enough to do on that to fill a whole video, so we'll probably also be working on the 78 GMC Vandura Boogie van. Let's get with the LTD first, because I drive this car every day, and we've just had a few issues crop up that would need addressed. We got the LTD in here. Now, let's fix some stuff on it. The other night, we drove this to dinner. I went to turn on the headlights, and something snapped. Well, this car has hidden headlights. The doors didn't open. So that was an interesting drive home. I connected the vacuum for the headlights straight to the intake, so the headlights would only open when I let off the gas. Something has gone awry here. It's like holding out. It's like I don't know, something snapped inside of this switch. The marker lights are on all the time, so I have the battery disconnected. I did manage to find a replacement headlight switch for it. I was surprised by that, with the vacuum port and everything, so that's nice. However, we got to get this one out. I really hate tearing into like original cars like this, because nothing ever goes back the way it was. So we're going to try to be as careful and do this as good as we possibly can. Well, I would love to bring you in here and show you what I'm doing, but the fact is, I can't even see what I'm doing. But what I gotta do is get on top of this headlight switch, and there's a little spring button on the top of them. You push in that, and then you can pull out the actual knob. Oh man. I tried getting my hands behind it, and I just can't do it. There's a brace right here that just completely blocks your access to the headlight switch. The knob on the wiper thing has to come off. I think those snap on, but see, this is where we really start getting into things that I don't want to get into. Here's where I'm at. I got this loose. The switch is installed like this, clocked like that. That means the button to remove the knob is on this side. You can't get to it. I don't know what they were thinking here, but what I can do, if I pull this piece of plastic back, hard for you to see, but I can see the retaining nut in there just barely. So maybe if I can just get that nut to unscrew, I'll be able to pull the switch backwards into the dash far enough that I can get to that switch, or rotate it maybe, and be able to push that little button. I don't know. That's gonna suck. I can't get a wrench on that nut, but I can get a screwdriver on it. Tap the screwdriver with a hammer, walk that nut off. I didn't expect this to be the hardest thing I'd be doing today. I got it. There she is. Got this off. No damage done, thank God. Let's compare the new switch. Thankfully, they've color keyed the vacuum lines. I don't know what broke in this thing. Well, they're definitely the same switch. The new one weighs significantly less than this older one, unfortunately. I put the knob back in, and I can only get one position out of it. You know, if I was real motivated, I guess I could drill the little rivets out of that contact block there and try to fix it, but it really isn't worth it. Oh hell, look at that. The vacuum switch there's got a crack in it. I guess we'll throw it away. I just hate throwing away good, original solid stuff like this. I know it broke, but I don't really think it's the switch's fault. It was like -5 degrees, just extreme cold. That's hard on stuff. It'll be a little easier this time because we don't have to put the knob in until last. There we go. It's installed. Hopefully everything works. We've got away without any damage. I'm pleased with that. Let's just make sure they work. Feels better. We're back in business there, which means I can go to work tomorrow. Yay! But now we got some more work to do to this. While we're on the topic of headlights, let's address the headlights. They're very dim in this car. They're just old. I think they're the originals. So what I did was actually reached out to Holly. I've been curious about these things since they come out. I'm very skeptical about, LED anything, right? But look at that. That looks like a regular headlight, and that's what's most important to me, is that it doesn't look chump like, some Amazon multi-thousand LED lumen blind everybody, and, I'm just not into that. These are Holley's Retro Bright headlights, and they look like the real deal. I just want to see what they're like. They're bound to be brighter, so I don't know, let's throw them in. Incandescent out of here. Now, I like incandescent light bulbs generally. I usually replace them with just a halogen or something. I don't know, curiosity got the better of me this time. It said something about check the pin out before you plug these in, so I'll just plug it in and see what happens. I think that's probably the better move. They're very cool because they got these pigtails on them. You just plug it right in. Like, there's no, you know, sometimes they got like capacitors and crap you gotta add in. You don't have to do that with the Retro Brights. I like that. You just plug them in and you're good. And I've got the battery disconnected right now so that the headlight doors can stay open, but the headlights will be off. And yeah, there we go. So yeah, you can definitely see a noticeable difference there. That bulb is brighter than the bright bulb next to it. I don't know why these are so dim. I mean, they're just very, very dull. Carpal tunnel by the time I'm done taking all these out and putting them back in. You know, it's kind of weird to think that I'm the only person who's touched this screw since it was ever installed. You ever think about that when you're working on stuff? I also noticed Ford used self-tappers as adjusters for these headlight doors to make sure they shut all the way. They just shot a couple self-tappers into it. I approve of that. Bright only has 2 prongs on it. Low beams have 3 and brights have 2 because a low beam has to be a bright and a low. Looks like you just plug it right in. I plugged it in and it worked, so I'll just snap off that extra prong, I guess. There we go. Nice. Excellent. Well, that's done. Now, unfortunately, we have to move on to something a little more difficult. I got to get this car up in the air, and we have to change the fuel filler neck grommet on it. Was leaking before, and it has started to leak pretty badly. If it gets over like half a tank of fuel, it starts to leak. So let's try to fix that. Well, I found the fuel leak. It's not the filler tank grommet. That right there, the freaking feed line is ripped in half because that is an original 40-whatever-year-old hose. Yeah, that's not good. You gotta replace this stuff, guys. You know, if you have the tank out of here, you gotta change out the ancient fuel lines. That's a big no-no. Well, that's an easy fix. And I don't think I gotta drop the whole tank to get to this fuel filler grommet. I think I could pull the neck out and change that. I know I've seen it leak in before, so let's just go ahead and change it just to be safe. See if I can't change this thing out without taking a bath. Yeah, squeeze clamps are a no-no as well. You know, they work good once. You try to use them again, they're not gonna work. I bet this was probably that little surging problem I was having out of it that made me think it was a fuel filter. It's probably starving for gas. Oh, right in the armpit every time. No. It's also why I was having to crank on it so long, is fuel system couldn't hold a vacuum. These are all problems that I've had just driving it every day that I haven't filmed, but you know, it's just little things. You know, a little bit of diagnosis can go a long ways to making your car better. Look at that. They're torn almost all the way through. I'm very happy I don't have to drop the gas tank. That thrills me. Yep, I'm always happy when I get to fix something for free. It's the little things in life. With that out of the way, let's see if we can change this filler neck grommet. I'm hoping the pipe will come up this way. Yeah, there we go. It's so close. Maybe it needs to turn like this. What on earth is falling all over my... I can't get it out far enough to actually get it removed from the tank. It's still in there a little bit, so I don't think I gotta drop the tank. I probably gotta loosen it and shove it over. Enough? Nope. This filler neck goes into that tank so damn far. I know the grommet's bad, so we're not doing this for nothing, because that neck shouldn't just slide in and out that easy. Ah, got it. Yeah, there it is. Just pulled that right out. It doesn't look bad, it's just worn. It was probably fine until it was disturbed when he pulled the tank out. Well, here's our new one. You know, it vaguely resembles this one, but this should open up enough to fit around that neck and give it a proper seal. You notice that's not here on this one. Never had it, but it was just made to be a tighter fit. Getting it back in there is being a bit of a bear. Lube up that grommet. See if we can get it in. A little persuasion. Let's go in. Please. Now I can bolt the gas tank back up, and we should be able to push that in the rest of the way, I think. Get this squared up. Something like that. This is scary. Fish for these holes here. There's one. Yeah, they're there. We're good. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. One good thing about buying, you know, like kind of nicer survivor cars like this, pretty much as easy to work on as they were day one. And even a smog era car like this one, definitely got its extra quirks and stuff. It's still infinitely easier than a modern car of any kind. I'm still not sold on the skirts. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. I think this thing's probably ready to go back into service. I bet it doesn't even need a fuel filter. It was probably that crack in that line that was causing all the problems. But there's only one way to find out. That's to go drive it. I'm going to check the fluids in it since it's been sitting a couple of weeks. Like to see if it's burned anything over 1,000 miles of driving. Yep. Full as can be. Take a peek at the coolant. Perfect. Let's check the ATF. About a pint low on ATF. Let's go ahead and top that off. Put half a quart of Type F in it. Pretty sure it calls for Type F. Hope so. Well, with this one handled, it's on to the next one. Well, I'm heading to work the next morning in the LTD. Let me tell you, these things make a difference. Wow. Now in the low beam setting, I don't even think they're that bright. I mean, I don't think they'd be blinding for oncoming traffic. Now those high beams certainly would though. Man, you can see really, really well with those. Oh man, that is so much better. I used to not be able to see this curve up here at all. And there's been a lot of deer out. Yeah, been some close calls. At least I'll see them coming now. Well, this thing needs an alternator. Let's see if she'll fire up and see if we can get that done. Been a minute. Maybe I'll fix the neutral safety switch while I'm at it. Doghouse off. Oh, the choke stuck shut. There we go. Sometimes those quadrajets don't like to sit. Down in the depths of the van is an alternator. We have to change that. I got a 140 amp Mr. Gasket alternator. These things are made in the USA and they're pretty affordable actually. I was surprised. Now we might need that extra 140 amp as opposed to the 60 that this came with. I might put an inverter or something in here. We can run, I don't know, maybe an air conditioner if we have to park somewhere or something like that. We're going to take this thing on power tour this year, so I'm just kind of trying to get it ready. I never mentioned that working on vans is awful. Why do I keep doing it? I got it unbolted. I gotta take the field wire off, and then we'll try to finagle this out of here. How is that supposed to come out of there? That means I gotta pull the freaking radiator, the fan, just to do an alternator. Any luck?
No.
Okay, we're gonna take the oil fill tube off. Just enough room. I think I got it. Got it.
Nice.
Put the spacer on the back here. Oh, that didn't work. We can't just throw it at it. I'm pretty much out of tricks.
Oh, just like that.
Yeah, that's how you do it. It's in a service manual. Got it. The freaking standoff on the back of this alternator is too wide for this spacer because I can't fit this with the spacer bolted in. It won't fit between the bracket and the head. You can see if this was bolted flat, there's a gap between the spacer and the alternator. Let's take a little bit off of it, I guess. And taking just a hair off that spacer gave us enough room. Hopefully it doesn't throw our alignment off. You know, I would check, but you know, it's a van and I can't see. I would say your typical alternator replacement would take 10 minutes, 15 minutes on something. If you factor in the van exponent into things, that turned into an hour and 15 minutes roughly. Anyway, let's see if it works. I know that volt gauge is reasonably accurate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're charging now.
Well, I think I'm gonna delete the ladder from the boogie van. It's not very boogie. It's more conversion van, and that's lame. Aha! Oh god, that's better already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We'll fix these holes with stainless steel self-tappers. That way they don't rust. I think the next thing I want to do is make a table. I have this adapter here, so we have to make a table to go on it. This whole pole, I think, is supposed to come out of the floor. I'd really like to get it to be removable. Usually the pole comes out, but this one may not. I guess that just stays.
I guess, yeah.
I wonder if it gets in the way of the futon, though, when it folds.
Oh, it probably does.
I wonder how we fold this. I've never actually messed with this. Pull up and out, you see?
Mm-hmm. You have to kind of push on the back, too.
There we go.
Oh, that's not that bad.
No.
Yeah, that's good.
No, and we don't have to remove this. As long as the top is removable, it'll be fine. I just have to sleep in here with Jess. I hate this already. Well, power tour is going to be interesting. I need to make a table for the van. Here's the original liner for the original table. And I kind of like this half moon shape here. I'm just going to cut it out of this piece of 3/4 inch plywood left over for me building new doors for the shop. Just something like that. And I might hole saw a couple of cup holders into it. This is the home improvement section of Pole Barn Garage right here. Call me Tim Allen. I feel like that's not working. Has the Craftsman saber saw met its match? I guess so. I mean, that blade feels sharp. Well, I guess the top part of it's not very sharp. Always use a Sawzall for a good clean cut. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I planned that. Not doing anything fancy here, just gonna sand it with some 120, get it all smoothed out so it'll take some stain. I'm going to cut some sandpaper around the edge here and just try to round the edges on it so we don't have anything too sharp or pokey sitting back there, you know, stabbing dogs and JD and me. I wanted to put some cup holders in it, but I don't have any hole saws. I've just got some one-step poly here. It's stain and poly all in one. It works okay. It's not the best. Oh yeah, just slather it on there. It's warm enough. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to dry.
Looks good, actually.
Oh yeah, because we actually sanded it like prepped wood for once. We never do that.
Yeah, we've never do that.
Always stain with the grain. That's about all I know. Make sure your brush goes with the grain. And that is the extent of my woodworking knowledge, so take that as you will. Behold, the cheapest $10 futon cover I could find on Amazon. How does it work? Tropical. This is a corner.
Yep.
This is a corner. These are also corners. There appears to be at least 7 corners. Okay.
I think the ghost of vacation's past.
Very easy.
Oh, okay, I see 4.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
it. This is it.
Yep.
Okay. So.
Yep.
Yeah. We just take this like that. Keep it
Look
like
at
that now.
Yeah, there. Round corner.
Like 99% sure this is like prison quality fitted edge.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, that's all right. We'll probably find something better than this.
Maybe sans the word tropical.
Here. That's recovered now. That's better than the green thing. Tighten the hinges, he said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hinges are loose on this seat back here. Probably don't go too tight or it won't move anymore. In my nearly limitless wisdom, I have decided to install cup holders into this table, and what I will do is use these center caps out of some mag wheels to retain perhaps a can of soda or a water bottle. Naturally, I varnished it first. That way, this will ruin it. I bought this really cheap hole saw set here, so That should get the job done. Now, I'm not going to measure anything. I'm just going to go for it. Well, that worked perfectly. Now, aha! A cup holder. 5 3/4-ish. 5 3/4-ish. 3. Okay, and a 3 right there. That's where it goes. That's just the kind of carpentry you can expect on this channel. I don't mean to brag. Bob the Builder's got nothing on me. And 1 and 2. Perfect. And these will remain removable, you know, in case you spill it or something like that. Just pop it out, clean it out. I will now secure the adapter thingy here. This goes on the pole in the van, and I will secure it with self-tappers. Absolutely in the middle of it, I'm pretty sure. There we go. Little table. Much better. While I have the self-tappers out, try to fix this. This damn ceiling has been falling down since we got it. I've tried every kind of glue there is, and it's just not going to work. Probably because all the wood's rotten under it, but shh. In an effort to maintain the shag, I will just shoot a self-tapper into it and screw it to the sunroof, and that will fix this forever and ever. The good thing about the shag is it just buries everything. Well, it's better. Pretty much all we could ask for. Maybe one day we'll fix this the right way, but today's not that day. I actually like this material enough. Kind of grew on me overnight, like a fungus. I think we should actually attach it to the seat, like this back panel here. It's just held on with staples, I believe. These staples out, like that. And we'll tuck our fabric under here and chunk, 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 just shoot some new staples in it, trim the sides to fit, and staple the front half. I mean, it is not going to be perfect by any means, but it will be quite a bit better. Got a little bit extra here. Let's cut it like right here. Pretty heavy material. This is kind of what you'd call a quick and dirty seat recover, but it'll work. Basically, you end up, when you're doing stuff like this, you just end up wrapping it like a Christmas present almost. Peel that vinyl back a little bit, like that. Normally you'd cut some relief cuts in there, but in our case here, where nobody will be able to see that, this is totally fine. Just gonna get my staple gun out here. It's gonna shoot for something. And we're going to repeat that process all the way down, and this will at least be actually attached to the seat so it doesn't go blowing around, you know, while we're driving. Oh yeah. Pro upholstery stuff going on here.
So while your dad's over here slaving away to feed you, this is what you do with your spare time?
Yes.
What the hell?
Alright, now I want you to go jog down the hill. Okay, that worked a lot better than I thought it would.
See, if I ever get that, I have to practice.
Oh, that's what this is.
And our living space is complete. That's a lot nicer. And it'll be maybe a little less hazardous to sleep on. A fan sent this in a little while back. It's pretty cool. I think we need this. Yeah, every van in the 70s had something like this going on, so I think the R is pretty much the middle. So we're gonna make the R the middle?
Yep.
Think so?
Yep.
Does it look like I'm going on level?
Yes.
Use a putty spreader to push out the air bubbles. This is really good material. The guy had put some of this on his own van. Very, very slow process to do this. He is kind of pulling an angle, so you're pulling off of the corners of the decal. That is pretty much perfect. I'm going to add an open element air breather to this. Oh. Well.
Doesn't fit.
Guess what we won't do?
Put that on there,
Right.
just like you said.
So I have a new air filter that I found on the ground right here. And we can just put that in the old air cleaner housing. I'm going to go ahead and completely restore this vehicle right now to original spec. I shall demonstrate to you the ultimate in quadrijet technology. Dum, 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 dum,
You're putting it in practice.
dum, dum, dum.
Why are you doing that?
The lid flip. Battle tested.
Why does that help?
It opens up the air filter element to accept more air. And it sounds cool. We just added probably 10 horsepower to this thing, and that's actually true. They tested it, and it really does do stuff. When I first bought this thing, it had power going to the back. See that, like, has a clock and stuff in the wall. Not necessary, really, but I would like to have it, you know, to have power back there for the lights and stuff. I don't know where it comes from, or where did it go? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Remember what I said about the neutral safety switch not working? I should fix that now. I'm gonna do it now before I forget. So
okay.
These two purple wires are the neutral safety switch. And what I'll do is just bypass them because it'll be fine. Make a little jumper with a couple of spade connectors. So this little jumper installed here, I can now start the vehicle in any shifter position. To be sure, it has its drawbacks, but you know, if you exercise the slightest amount of common sense, you'll be just fine. I'm not really sure where the power is coming from. But the odds are is the wiring is probably okay. It's just maybe a fuse or something has popped. And I'm basically just gonna pull fuses out of here until I find one that might be blown. And if I don't find one that's blown, then we actually have to do some diagnosis. I don't know what this one is for. Came out in pieces. Guess we'll see what that does.
I turned it on and yes, it works.
We got lights now?
Yeah.
Nah, that was it. Nice.
Oh, that light doesn't work. That's okay.
Yeah, well, this one has one burned out too. What about the clock?
Clock works.
Yeah, now these work too. Push that button next to the sink. Okay, that doesn't work. JD's setting the time. Now just set the alarm for like a minute past. We gotta see what it sounds like.
That's gonna wake us up.
Oh, I'm ready to start the day, Jesus. It has a water tank in the van. That might come in handy. It's not actually that bad in there. So we gotta see if the pump works.
Okay.
So let's go to the switch on the sink. Press the button. Yeah, it's sending power to it.
It is?
Yeah?
I think it's the pump.
Yeah, the pump's bad. Hose off and it immediately snapped off the nipple. Let's see if we can get a number off of this thing. And I'll order a new pump. I mean, we might as well have it work, right? Alright, micro 1010.
Clean this tank out with some water. So if I just stick this back in here, just a little bit, get some water in it, run some water through it, nothing out there, maybe I can plug that and let it fill all the way up. Got it draining now. Hopefully that gets rid of all the diseases and stuff in there so we don't drink it, then we die.
While JD was cleaning that out, I went ahead and threw a fuel filter on this for about the umpteenth time. This is a cheap Amazon fuel filter. You get what you pay for. It's not anywhere near heat at all, but it was melting. That's bad, so I put a metal one on it.
Oh, good.
I'm to go full pimp my ride with a chrome master cylinder cover. Why? Because it was hanging on my wall and it caught my eye. These are so cheap that they actually don't include the gasket. So you gotta pull your old gasket out. There, look at that.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
That does look pretty good with the rusty master cylinder.
Yeah. Ah, you see this, Trey?
Yep.
This is what you call spaghetti. It's an Italian recipe. What does it do? That's a great question. You see...
Like what?
Now, they had it hooked to the battery at one point, apparently. And I think it's for the CB. I mean, we can find out real quick, I guess.
Oh, it works?
Really?
Yeah.
This switch is for the fog lights. This switch isn't hooked to anything at all. And it gets right in the way of my leg when I'm driving. So I'm going to get rid of it. We'll keep this one, though. And we'll use it for fog lights. And then for the CB, I'm going to not hook it directly to the battery. Yeah, because it's right here. These are the CB wires right here. And instead, we'll hook it into the fuse block where that switch was hooked. And that way, we got a lot shorter of a run. And I don't know, just kind of keep the spaghetti to a minimum. So I have cleaned up a lot of crap up here. This no longer goes to anything. There's no reason to have two power wires. They had power running into both sides of these for some reason. I've tore out a lot of wiring, and we're just kind of starting fresh. This is 12 volts coming out of the switch. Put 12 volts to this light, and then daisy chain off of it to this one, and then it will work. It's that simple. Huh?
They work. Yeah.
Both?
No, just one.
But the volt's bad.
Yeah, probably.
Well, it doesn't look bad. I can see it. Pull it out. It may have a wire loose in here. Let me make sure we got power coming up to it. Yeah, it's got power, so we either don't have a ground, which is pretty unlikely, or something's falling apart inside here. There it goes.
Must just pop out, maybe.
I guess so.
Bet you just cleaned it up, maybe.
Oh, yikes. This is how it grounds. This strap here touches the housing on the back. Yeah.
Oh.
Not grounding.
Oh.
So, that's 99% of automotive wiring problems. Maybe if I just bend that back a little bit, that's gonna get really hot really fast.
Here we go, turn it off.
Let me see how long I can stand it first. We've definitely got good contact on it now.
Yeah.
Working?
Yeah. Both of them.
Alright. Well, that's fixed.
So I'm going to be installing this shifter knob here. And I got the Allen head, and it doesn't really seem to be working too good. So I'm going to use some super glue, and I'll just put it on the inside of there, stick it on, and then it should be fine. On there with glue, looks good now.
Behold, the digital tack. When was the last time you saw one of these? I've had it sitting around for a long time, and I very specifically remembered it not working. But I hooked it up to the battery, and it lit up with numbers. It's probably not accurate, but it doesn't really matter for this van, you know. And adorning it right on top of the shag on the dash with wood screws. So this is wired up. It lights up. I did notice one thing. The signal wire on this is a shielded wire. And they are shielding this wire because it must be very sensitive to other power sources or something like that. We should probably at least make sure we're using the same gauge wire to the distributor and just try to route it away from any power sources.
It works. It's wrong, but it works. I wonder if it had a cylinder selector on it. I don't see a switch.
But you know what? It lights up and has numbers and it's cool.
Oh, you guys.
Oh, that's gonna be really good.
Oh my god, and how much it brightens everything up too.
It's so much better.
Yes.
Jessie has been working on making curtains. And she's been using these old nasty things as reference.
Yeah, I think you sew it that way?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Feels right. Let's see what happens. Don't know what I'm doing. Like, I watched a YouTube video, so I feel like I got this now. Whoa, and you got it reverser, I think? That's how you... Oh, I think I just made a nest. We're just gonna roll past that. Ooh, we're off. Oh, I am sewing upside down, but you know, whatever.
Well, I'll get back to you when you're done with the big curtain.
Curtains?
Curtains.
Oh, you've returned from your hovel.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Oh, it keeps collapsing. Hold on.
That's
Oh,
what
yes.
That's perfect.
That's great. You just made one curtain instead of two. I like that.
Professional installation. Oh my gosh, they look so great together.
That's wonderful.
How happy.
Good job.
Thanks. I'm a seamstress now.
Well, we're not done with this. Jess needs to finish the rest of the curtains, and I'm going to paint these window frames back here where all the black is flaked off of them. But it's dinner time. So let's test drive this thing to the best pizza around, period, and I will fight you over it. It's Funhouse Pizza in Lee Summit, Missouri. If you ever, I mean, that is the best place. So let's see if it'll make it to dinner, then, you know, see if our improvements have done anything.
Yeah. 4,800 RPM. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's those steep gears I got in this thing. How is it back there?
It's really nice.
Got a nice table now.
Uh-huh.
Well, we're still charging. Been driving a little while. Not bad. Just cruising down the road at a healthy 5,000 RPM. You know, that's totally normal. Behold, Funhouse. Yeah.
I noticed that all the black paint is flaked off of these window frames. So I got some flat black tractor paint here. We will just touch that up. Well, I'll be here a while. While I paint window frames, I'm gonna have JD change out the dimmer switch in this thing. Just noticed on our way back from pizza that the brights don't work. Maybe they never did, I don't remember. Well, this is coming along. And what you got here?
Lights?
Alright. High, low. High, low. Very nice. Fixed. I am going to remove these horns. maybe. I'd like to see if I can make some baffles to put in them, and also, I'm pretty sure that this gasket isn't doing much anymore. So maybe we'll reseal this, because I've noticed things get kind of wet in here. Take out these drywall screws that are going into absolutely nothing. Oh boy, it's rusty. Oh shoot. I'm gonna break it. Well, that was all for nothing. I'm gonna leave it loose like this so I can get some silicone under it at least.
Okay. You could take it apart up there, maybe.
I tried to, but the rivets are installed from the bottom.
Oh.
So
we'd have to drill it out from the bottom.
yeah, well, I can drill it from the top, but it's just gonna be hard.
Yeah. See, you got the other curtain in.
Yes.
Yeah.
There.
You could just fold it in and then tie it on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so. And this is the kind of mundane part of it, but it turns out you really gotta put these little pins in here so it doesn't scooch around while you're sewing.
Then you just sew and then you take the pins out.
Yeah, and it turns out if you do them like that, kind of facing away from you, you don't get stabbed as many times. And you just line them up with the little lines. Once you get going, back it up a little bit. And then go forward so it doesn't all pull out, because turns out it does pull out if you don't do that. So that's a thing we learned.
If you didn't move your hand, could you stitch your hand?
So if like it was up like that, I mean maybe you could like run it through your finger or something, but you can't.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah, this is gonna be a little strange, but let's see what happens. There's like a gasket, and then just a piece of plastic here, and then this thing. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna smear some silicone around the top of this dried up gasket. I mean, it doesn't have that much pressure on it. I'm not a horn repairman. Let's see if we just seal this gasket up, because the baffles looked fine, and everything seemed to move freely. The only part that doesn't look good is the gasket. Figure out a way to reattach these, since I destroyed where the rivets go. I know what I'm doing. As a professional air horn repairman, I will reassemble these with self-tappers. I'm gonna put some pipe dope on all these threads here, just to make sure that that wasn't where it was like leaking or something. Let's see here. Oh God, feed this through the shag with pipe dope on it. Oh no. I have roof repair here, and we will just seal this up and make sure that it maybe doesn't leak into the band any longer. That would be nice. Scoop a little bit of this out. Oh yeah. Okay, that's too much already. As long as it gets around the holes under there. Just taking a screwdriver, smearing that. It's basically tar around underneath this thing, but it should make for at least a functional gasket. I don't know about a better one, but better than what was on it.
Ah.
Yes. Isn't it great?
Cave of flowers.
Yes. So happy.
A paisley cave.
Yeah. And we'll make some strips to keep them back out of this stuff. And I'm getting ready to start the pillows.
Oh God, yeah. Well, it sort of works. It's like a freaking whistle.
It'll just be a whistle.
Probably one of the last things we're gonna do here is get a spare tire in this. Conveniently, it's locked. Let's get rid of this lock. There we go. It might have been on there a minute.
Okay.
235/75/15 replaces LR78/15. That's when they went from standard to metric sizes on tires.
Oh.
It's cut pretty hard. It's got great tread.
Think it's still good?
I mean, for a spare. I was digging around looking for the best 5-on-5 wheel I had. This is the spare that was on the tan van. It's got like a brand new tire on it. Totally the wrong size. It'll work. I say let's steal this, and that way we at least have a good spare.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go rob that wheel. JD is gonna sand off this cringy crap off the heck of that, and then we'll respray this blue, and we can cover up that crappy steel wheel with it at least. I have blue metallic here.
Yeah.
So we get a good base of this down, and then we'll have Jess kind of
Put like something on it.
yeah.
Piece.
I think a peace sign would be cool.
Yeah.
Key with this metallic is you gotta have like nice even coat on everything. Otherwise you end up with like tiger stripes in it. You don't want that. All the sparkles.
It is complete.
Yes.
Yeah. Turns out I can make a pillow.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
Put the water tank back in. We're going to be waiting a little while on a new pump for it. We get it. We'll try to figure out how that works. I think that's it for this one. We fixed 2 1978 vehicles. We fixed them up a lot better than they were. The inside of this thing is practically livable now. In fact, I might move in. But anyway, hey, go pick up some merch if you don't mind. You know, polebarnmerch.com. Get you a hat, get you a shirt. We got these, well, I got overalls on. It's kind of hard to see, but got these cool Holy Goat shirts. Don't mind the cleavage. Pick you up one. That kind of stuff really helps support the channel more than almost anything else. We done?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's pull the next one in. We'll see you next week.